All right, we're live again, back at the house. We're back at St. James Trojan Gym. The Trojans coming off of a 2-victory match, a tri-match yesterday. We played Auburn High School, and then we played Park Crossing for the first time this year. And won both games. That was at Auburn High School. We are today, the St. James record, overall record for the season is 25-8, and we are 7-0. We're undefeated in area play. This will be our last regular season match and our last area match for the year. This will finish up our regular season. We're playing the Tallassee Tigers. Tonight is also senior night for the Trojans, and after the game, our 9 seniors will be recognized. Their parents will walk them out on the court, and they'll be recognized by the school and by the fans here tonight at the game. The game is scheduled to start at 5 o'clock, but as the Trojans warm up now on the court, there's 3 minutes and 45 seconds left for warm-ups. Shouldn't have any video issues today since we're at home, and we got a strong Wi-Fi signal here at the house. We got a little more than 2 minutes left on the clock for warm-ups for the Trojans. And then they'll practice their serves here in about right now. Nope. Usually it's like the last minute of warm-ups. This is our last, like I said, this is our last scheduled regular season match at home, but since St. James has won the area, we will be the host team for the area tournament that will start next week. The Class 5A Area 4 area and the South Super Regional will be played next week. St. James will host the area, and the Super Regionals will be held at the Montgomery Multiplex at Crampton Bowl downtown in Montgomery. We got 50 seconds left as the Lady Trojans practice their serves. Horn's about to go off in about 5 seconds. Here's the horn. I think it's awesome. Scott Olsey and Mike Crow, senior dads, calling lines for their girls' last volleyball home match. Pretty cool. I remember that several years ago. Both teams prepare to greet each other at the net. The Trojans and the Tigers. The Trojans will start out this first set. Again, this is a best 3 out of 5. The Trojans will start out with Ashley White, number 18, Kathleen Wright, number 2, Emily Olsey, number 16, Lizanne Livings, number 15, Carson Ann Crow, number 13, and Bailey Williams, number 14. The Trojan court's full of seniors. Again, this is senior night. The down referees completed checking lineups. And we're playing ball. Tallassee will be serving to St. James. I apologize for the angle, but I wanted to make sure that everybody saw our Trojans side of the court. Ball comes in, played by Carson and Crow. Olsey back sets to Kathleen Wright. She pushes the ball over the block. Free ball to St. James. Carson and Crow gets it to Olsey. Back sets to Ashley White. Ball's down. That's a kill for Ashley White. St. James leads Tallassee now by a score of 1-0. Emily Poundstone comes in for Ashley White. Poundstone serving for the Trojans. She floats one into the middle of the back row. Tigers set up their offense. Free ball to St. James, played by Carson Ann Crow. She gets the ball to Emily Poundstone. Liz Ann Livings. Ball's dug up. Double hit by the Tigers, and that's a point for St. James. St. James leading now by a score of 2-0. Poundstone still back serving for St. James. She floats one into the back left corner. The Tigers set up their offense. Free ball again to St. James. Bailey Williams runs it down, gets it to Poundstone. Poundstone back to Liz Ann Livings. That's a 4-hit call on the Trojans, and that's a side out and a point for Tallassee. St. James leading Tallassee now by a score of 2-1. Serve comes over. That's an ace for the Tallassee server. Number 11. I remember her from we played them at Tallassee. The score is evened up now, 2-2. Serve comes in, played by Emily Olsey. She gets the ball to Emily Poundstone. Back to Olsey. Ball's blocked. Poundstone pushes the ball up. Bailey Williams gets the ball to Kathleen Wright. This ball's tipped. That's a kill for Kathleen Wright. Point for St. James and a side out. They lead Tallassee 3-2. Liz Ann Livings back serving for St. James. Ball floats into the back right corner. Ball's blocked by, there's a net violation on St. James. Net violation on St. James, and that's a side out and a point for Tallassee. We're all tied up at 3. Serve comes in, played by Liz Ann Living. She gets the ball to Emily Poundstone. Olsey tips the ball over the block, and that's a kill for Emily Olsey. Point for St. James and a side out. St. James leads Tallassee now 4-3 as Alan Browning comes in for Kathleen Wright and serving for the Trojans. Alan floats in, barely hits the tape and goes over. Nice block by Olsey at the net. Point for St. James. St. James leads now 5-3. Browning still serving for St. James. Floats one over the net. Ball's pushed over. Liz Ann Livings gets it to Poundstone. Poundstone to Crow. Ball's down. That's Carson Ann Crow's first kill of the match, and St. James leads 6-5. Browning floats another one over to the middle of the defense. That's an ace. That's an ace for Alan Browning. That's her first ace of the match, and St. James leads Tallassee now 7-3. Allen floats another one into the back right corner. Tallassee sets up their offense. Ball's blocked and dug up nicely by Bailey Williams. She punches it over to Carson Ann Crow. That's a kill for Carson Ann Crow. That's her second kill, and St. James leads 8-3. Nice play by Bailey Williams at the net. Allen floats another one in short at the net. That ball's out of bounds. That's an ace. That's Alan Browning's second ace of the match, and St. James leading Tallassee now by a score of 9-3. Browning floats another one in short, played by the front row. Tallassee sets up their offense. This ball's pushed over, played by Liz Ann Living. She gets the ball to Poundstone, back to Crow. Another kill for Carson Ann Crow. That's her third. The Trojans take a quick 10-3 lead over the Tigers of Tallassee. Browning floats another one into the middle of the defense. Ball's pushed up to the net. Ball's pushed over, played by Liz Ann Living. She gets the ball to Poundstone. Back sets to Bailey Williams and down. That's Bailey Williams' first kill of the match. The Trojans leading now 11-3. Poundstone now with 5 assists in the first set. Browning floats another short one over in the middle of the defense. That's overpass kill by Carson Ann Crow. That's a free one. Happy birthday, Carson Ann. Point for St. James, and that's Carson Ann Crow's 4th kill. The St. James Trojans lead Tallassee 12-3. Browning floats one into the back right corner. Tigers set up their offense. Ball's dug up by Poundstone. Crow pushes it back over to Bailey Williams. In. Bailey Williams' 2nd kill. Carson Ann Crow pushes the ball back over for her an assist. St. James leading Tallassee now 13-3. Allen floats one into the middle of the back row. Tallassee sets up their offense. Nicely placed shot by the Tallassee attacker. Down on St. James' side of the court. That's a side out to Tallassee with St. James leading 13-4. Short serve played by Carson Ann Crow. She gets the ball back to Poundstone. Back to Crow for her 5th kill of this first match. Point for St. James and a side out. Ashley White comes in the front row for Emily Poundstone as Emily Olsey goes back to serve with the Trojans leading 14-4. Olsey hammers it in. That's an ace for Olsey. Hit it into the middle of the back row for an ace. St. James leading now 15-4. Olsey floats another one in. That's long. Point and a side out for Tallassee. Nice serve, just floated a little bit long. St. James leading Tallassee now 15-5. The lefty, number 9 for Tallassee, serving the ball into the Trojans, played by Liz Ann Livings. Gets the ball to Olsey. Back to Ashley White, hits the ball over the block. Tallassee rolls over the net. Allen Browning gets it to Olsey. Olsey back to Ashley White. Ball's dug up by the Tigers. Liz Ann Living digs it up. Olsey pushes the ball over to Carson Ann Crow. Another kill for Carson Ann Crow. Olsey to Crow. Side out St. James, and they lead Tallassee 16-5 as Carson Ann Crow goes back to serve for the Trojans. Nice strong serve by Carson into the middle of the back row. Tigers set up, got a free ball. Allen Browning gets the ball to Olsey. Olsey back sets to Ashley White. And it's down. Ashley White's 2nd kill of the match. Very well set up play by the Trojans, and they lead Tallassee 17-5. Nice serve by Carson Ann. Tigers set up their offense. Ball dug up by Liz Ann Livings. She gets the ball to Olsey. Back to Livings. Down it is. Kill for Liz Ann Livings. St. James with an 18-5 lead now over the Tigers of Tallassee. Nice serve. Ball might have been out. Bailey Williams takes an overpass kill. That's her 3rd kill of this first match. Point for St. James, and they're leading Tallassee now 19-5. Another floater serve. Carson Ann Crow gets the ball in. Tigers set up their offense. Ball's dug up by Liz Ann Livings. She gets the ball to Olsey. Back sets to Ashley White. They're going to call a double hit. That was close. Good call, but that was close. Side out to Tallassee with St. James leading Tallassee 19-6. Serve comes in. Played by Liz Ann Livings. She gets the ball to Olsey. Pushes it over to Bailey Williams. Ball's down. Bailey Williams' 4th kill of the match. Side out St. James, and they lead Tallassee now 20-6. Bailey Williams, number 14, will go back serving for the Trojans. She floats it into the right side. That's an ace for Bailey Williams. That's her first ace of this match, and that gives St. James a 21-6 lead over the Tigers. Bailey floats one into the back right corner. Tallassee sets up their offense, but it's a free ball played by Carson and Crow. Over to Olsey, back sets to Kathleen Wright, over the block and down. The Trojans were into the net, and that's a net violation on St. James. That's a side out and a point for Tallassee. St. James leading Tallassee now 21-7. The serve comes in, played by Carson and Crow. She gets it to Olsey. Lizanne Livings with a kill down the left sideline. That's her second kill of this match, and St. James gets a side out, leads 22-7 as Emily Poundstone comes in for Ashley White and serving for the Trojans. Poundstone floats one into the back right corner. It hits the line, and that's an ace for Poundstone. That's her first ace of the match. St. James leading 23-7. Poundstone floats a floater into the middle of the back row. The Tigers set up their offense. Ball's dug up by Poundstone. Bailey Williams rushes in to set it up for Lizanne Livings. That's a kill for Lizanne Livings. That's her third. Bailey Williams rushed in, put it on a tee, and she hammered it down. That's set point. St. James 24, Tallassee 7. That ball's long. Service error by the Trojans gives Tallassee life and a side out. St. James leading Tallassee now 24-8. Still set point for the Trojans. Serve comes in, played by Carson and Crow. She gets the ball to Poundstone. Poundstone pushes the ball to Olsey. Ball's hitting to the net. That's a point for point for Tallassee. St. James leading Tallassee now 24-9. Serve comes in. Ball's long. That's a service error by Tallassee, and that gives St. James their 25th point, and St. James will win the first set over Tallassee 25-9. That first set, we had Kathleen Wright had 1 kill. Alan Browning had 2 aces. Emily Poundstone had 6 assists and 1 ace. Carson and Crow had 6 kills and 1 assist. Bailey Williams had 4 kills and 1 ace and 1 assist. Lizanne Livings had 3 kills. Emily Olsey had 1 kill, 1 ace, 1 block, and 6 assists. Ashley White had 2 kills. That's the first set summary we will play. Again, this is a best 3 out of 5 match since it's an area match, and we will start this next set, the second set, in about 2 minutes. We got about 40 seconds left before the Trojans will take the court. St. James will start this second set with Kathleen Wright, Emily Poundstone, Emily Olsey, Liz Ann Livings, Bailey Williams, and Carson Ann Crow. Again, with Emily Poundstone on the court, St. James will be start out serving to Tallassee. The down referee will be checking St. James lineup and court positions. St. James down referee has checked their lineup. He's checking Tallassee's starting positions. And he's going to roll the ball out for St. James to serve to Tallassee. And we're about to start the second set. Again, Emily Poundstone serving for St. James. She floats one into the back left corner, pushed up by Tallassee front row. That ball's out. That's an attack error by the Tallassee player. That gives St. James their first point. St. James leading an early lead 1-0. Poundstone floats another one into the middle of the back row. Tallassee sets up their attacker, pushes the ball over, played by Carson Ann Crow. Poundstone back sets to Kathleen Wright. Pushes the ball over. Bailey Williams rushes in to get the ball to Poundstone. Poundstone to Liz Ann Livings. Ball's out of bounds by the Tallassee defender. That's a kill for Liz Ann Livings. That's her fourth kill of the match. St. James leading Tallassee now 2-0. Poundstone floats one in, played by the front row. That's an ace for Poundstone. That's her second ace of the match. St. James with a 3-0 lead over the Tigers. Emily floats another one into the middle of the back row. The Tigers set up their offense. We got a free ball coming over to St. James, played by Bailey Williams. Poundstone back to Olsey. The ball's hitting to the net, and that gives Tallassee a side out and their first point of the match. St. James leading the Tigers now 3-1. Serve comes over, played by Carson Ann Crow. She pushes the ball to Poundstone. Poundstone to Liz Ann Livings. The ball's hit wide. St. James now with a 1-point lead, leading Tallassee 3-2. Serve comes in, played by Emily Olsey. She gets the ball to Poundstone, back to Olsey. The ball's hit long. That evens us up at 3 now. St. James 3, Tallassee 3. Serve comes in, played by Bailey Williams. She gets the ball to Emily Poundstone to Kathleen Wright. That ball's out of bounds, hit out of bounds. Tallassee now with a 1-point lead over the Trojans. They lead 4-3. Number 2 back for the Tigers, serving to the Trojans. Serves floated in, played by Bailey Williams. She gets the ball to Poundstone. Back sets to Liz Ann Livings. Off the block and down. That's Liz Ann Livings' 5th kill of the match, and that evens us up at 4. Liz Ann Livings goes back to serve for the Trojans. She floats one in. That's in. That's an ace. Ace for Livings. That's her first of the match. Great timing. St. James takes the lead again, 5-4 over the Tigers. That was a floater serve that just died. Livings still back serving for the Trojans. She floats another one into the back left corner. It's a double hit, not called. Yeah, it is called. Double hit on the Tallassee player. That gives St. James a 6-4 lead over the Tigers. Livings floats another floater in. Tallassee sets up their offense and has a free ball played by Bailey Williams. Gets the ball to Poundstone, back to Carson Ann Crow. It's blocked at the net. and back falls back onto St. James side of the court. Side out and a point for Tallassee. St. James with a 1-point lead now, 6-5 over the Tigers. Ball comes in, played by Carson and Crow. She gets the ball to Poundstone. Back to Crow, down the line, and out of bounds. That's a kill for Carson and Crow. That's her 7th of the match. St. James side out, now with a 7-5 lead over Tallassee. Alan Browning back serving for St. James. She floats a knuckleball in. Overpass played by Lizanne Living. She gets the ball to Poundstone. Back to Crow. Off the block and down. Olsey has an overpass kill at the net. Nice play by Emily Olsey at the net. St. James now with an 8-5 lead over the Tigers. Sorry. They said that was a setter interference and a point for Tallassee. St. James now with a 1-point lead. Carson Crow plays the serve. Poundstone back to Bailey Williams. That's a touch and an out of bounds. That's a kill for Bailey Williams. That's her 5th kill. That gives St. James a side out, and they lead the Tigers now 8-6 with Emily Olsey back serving for St. James. Ashley White comes in for Emily Poundstone. Olsey floats one into the middle of the back row of the Tigers defense. That ball's out of bounds. Point for St. James. St. James leading the Tigers now 9-6. Olsey floats another one in. Get out here, ball. We got a free ball coming to the Trojans. Played by Alan Brown, and she pushes it to Olsey. Olsey back sets to Ashley White. They dig that one up. Overpass played by Ashley White, and that's a kill at the net. Ashley White. Great play at the net by Ashley. St. James leading the Tigers now 10-6. Service error by St. James gives the Tallassee Tigers a side out and a point. St. James leading Tallassee now 10-7. Low serve played by Lizanne Living. She gets the ball to Olsey. She pushes it to Ashley White. She pushes it over the block. Double hit on Tallassee. Point for St. James. Side out. And St. James leading the Tallassee Tigers now 11-7. Timeout Tallassee. Trojans break huddle and take the court. Again, the score after the timeout. St. James leading Tallassee 11-7. Carson Ann Crow, number 13, back serving for St. James. Carson Ann floats one into the back right corner. Tigers hustle up. Ashley White digs the ball over the net, pushes the ball to Olsey. Olsey hits the ball to Lizanne Living. She rolls it over the block. Carson Crow gets the overpass to Olsey. Olsey back to Ashley White and down. Great setup by the Trojans offense. Trojans leading the Tigers now 12-7. Carson Ann floats another one into the back right corner, so they push the ball to the net. Free ball to St. James, played by Alan Browning. She gets the ball to Olsey. Olsey pushes it up to Lizanne Living. She gets the ball over the block. Ball's pushed over. Carson Ann Crow gets it to Olsey. Olsey to Ashley White again. Another kill. Olsey to White. That's Ashley White's 5th kill of this match. St. James leading now 13-7. Carson Ann floats another one into the back right corner. Tigers set up their offense. Ball's dug up by Emily Olson. She gets the ball to Carson Ann Crow. Lizanne Livings gets the ball over the net. The Tigers dig it. Oh, it's blocked by Ashley White and Bailey Williams at the net. Ball's pushed over. Oh, it's a lift. Ball was lifted on St. James' side, and that's a side out and a point for Tallassee. St. James leading now 13-8. Number 20, the libero for Tallassee, serving to the Trojans. Serve comes in, played by Allen Brown, and she gets the ball to Olsey. Olsey pushes the ball up to Ashley White. It's blocked. Pushed up by Olsey. Allen Brown gets the ball over. Lizanne Livings rolls it over the block. Free ball to St. James. Olsey pushes the ball up. Allen Browning rushes in, gets the ball set to Ashley White. Blocked at the net. The Tigers set up their offense. Dug up nicely by Olsey to Browning. She gets the ball to Lizanne Livings. Ball's hitting to the net. Point for Tallassee. That was a nice hustle play by the Trojans. Tallassee gets the point. St. James leading now 13-9. Serve comes in, played by Carson Ann Crow. She gets the ball to Emily Olsey. Ashley White tips it over the block and down. That's a kill for Ashley White. Point for St. James and a side out. They lead 14-9. Bailey Williams back serving for St. James. Nice hard serve back to the middle of the back row. Free ball to St. James. Bailey Williams takes the free ball, pushes it to Olsey. Ball's hitting to the net. That's a side out and a point for Tallassee. The Trojans now with only a 4-point lead, and they lead Tallassee 14-10. Serve goes into the net. That's a service error by Tallassee, giving St. James a side out and a point. They lead Tallassee now 15-10 as Emily Poundstone comes back in for Ashley White on the back row, and she goes back to serve for the Trojans. Poundstone ready to serve. She hits one into the middle of the back row. The Tigers set up their offense. Free ball to the Trojans, played by Bailey Williams. She gets the ball to Poundstone. Poundstone, Lizanne Livings. Ball, not sure what happened there. Referee called the ball out of bounds, but looked like it hit the tape and went out of bounds. Point for Tallassee. St. James leading now 15-11, 4-point lead. Number 2, serving for the Tallassee Tigers to Olsey. Olsey gets it to Poundstone. Poundstone back sets to Lizanne Livings. Touched at the net. The Tigers set up their offense. Free ball, played by Bailey Williams. She gets the ball to Poundstone. Back to Olsey. Pounds it off the block. The Tigers get the ball back over, played by Carson Ann Crow. Emily Poundstone gets it to Livings, and it's wide open. Poundstone to Livings. Emily Livings' 6th kill of the match, and St. James gets a side out, and they lead Tallassee 16-11. As Lizanne Livings goes back to serve for the Trojans. Lizanne floats one, a hard one, barely over the net, and the Tigers hit it out of bounds. That's an ace for Lizanne Livings. That's her 2nd ace of the match. And the Trojans take a 17-11 lead. She floats another one in. That's an ace. She floated that one in barely over the net. That's an ace for Lizanne Livings. That's her 3rd ace. 2nd in as many serves, and St. James takes an 18-11 lead over the Tigers. Hits another hard serve back to the middle of the back row of the Tigers. They set up their offense. Ball's blocked at the net, and it goes out of bounds. That's a point for Tallassee and a side out. St. James leading by 6 now to score. St. James 18, Tallassee 12. Number 11 for Tallassee serves it in, played by Bailey Williams. She gets it to Poundstone, back to Carson Ann Crow. Ball's dug up, but nobody's there. That's a kill for Carson Ann Crow. Point for St. James and a side out. Allen Browning comes in for Kathleen Wright, and then will be serving for the Trojans, up 19-12. Tigers set up their offense. It's blocked at the net by Carson Ann Crow. and Emily Olsey. That's a point for St. James, and they lead now 20-12. Alan Browning, number 8, back serving for the Trojans. She floats the ball barely over the net. I hope you saw that. Alan Browning served the ball barely over the net. The Tallassee libero got the ball barely over as an overpass, and Carson Ann Crow hit the ball right into the girl's chest. That was awesome. 21-12. Browning serves another floater in there. Tigers set up their offense. Tipped up, played by Browning. She gets the ball to Poundstone, back over to Crow, tips it over the block, and it's dug up by the Tigers. Lizanne Livings hustles and gets the ball over to Bailey Williams. Carson Ann Crow with a back row attack. Nice hustle play by the Tigers. Olsey gets the ball to Emily Poundstone, back sets to Bailey Williams. Dug up by the Tigers. Nice volley play. Ball's played, pushed up by Lizanne Livings. She gets the ball to Poundstone, back to Carson Ann Crow. She hits another girl in the chest with the ball. Dug up by Lizanne Livings. She gets the ball to Poundstone, back sets to Bailey Williams. She tips it over and down on the line. That's a kill for Bailey Williams. St. James leading now 22-12 as Alan Browning goes back, continues to serve for the Trojans. Slow serve comes in. St. James called for a net violation. That's a side out for Tallassee. St. James leading now 22-13 as number 4 for Tallassee goes back to serve to the Trojans. Jump serve played by Alan Browning. She gets the ball to Emily Poundstone, back sets to Carson Ann Crow. Ball's dug up by the Tigers. Free ball coming to St. James. Alan Browning gets the ball to Emily Poundstone. She gets the ball to Olsey, and down it goes. Poundstone to Olsey. She hammered that one down. That's Emily Olsey's 3rd kill, and that gives St. James a side out, and they lead the Tigers 23-13 as Emily Olsey goes back to serve for the Trojans, and Ashley White comes in for Emily Poundstone. Olsey serves it in. Overpass again. Happy birthday to Carson Ann Crow. That's her 10th kill. And we're at set point in the second set. St. James leading Tallassee 24-13. Olsey floats one in. Oh, it hits. That's nice. Olsey threw a knuckleball over there. That's her 2nd ace, and that closes out the second set. St. James takes the second set from Tallassee 25-13. A lot of action on that play, folks. Need to go back and watch a couple of those hits. Very well placed attacks into the Tallassee defenders. We got about a 3-minute intermission between sets. Again, this is a 3-set, best 3 sets out of 5, with St. James leading now 2-0. Time on the clock shows 1 minute and 30 seconds before we'll start this third and hopefully final set. We got 30 seconds left before the horn will go off and lineups will be checked, and then we'll start the third set. Trojans break huddle and take the court for this third set. Trojans will start out with Mary Julian Setzer, Mary Lee Capulla, Carson Ann Crow, Ashley White, Emily Olsey, and Bailey Williams. The down referee is checking the Tallassee lineups as they will be serving to St. James in this third set. Down referee checks the St. James position players. He's about to roll the ball out to Tallassee, and we'll get this third set going. Number 2 for Tallassee, serving the ball into the Trojans, played by Carson Ann Crow. She gets the ball to Olsey, back sets to Ashley White. She hammers the ball down, dug up by Carson Ann Crow, gets the ball to Olsey, back sets again to Ashley White. That's a kill for Ashley White. Olsey to White. That's Ashley's 7th kill, and St. James takes an early 1-0 lead as Emily Poundstone, number 10, comes in for Ashley White and will be serving for St. James. Poundstone floats one into the back right corner, and it's down. That's an ace for Poundstone. That's her third ace of the match. St. James leads the Tigers now 2-0. Poundstone floats another one into the back right corner. Hustles in and digs the ball up. Great play by Emily Poundstone. Oh, it's blocked at the net. Oh, it's a lift called by St. James. That was a great hustle play by Poundstone to rush in to get that ball after she served it. St. James holding on to a 1-point lead, and they lead the Tigers now 2-1 as number 11 serves the ball into the St. James, played by Carson Ann Crow. That ball's down on St. James' side, and that evens the score up. That's a point for Tallassee. St. James 2, Tallassee 2. Ball comes in, played by Carson Ann Crow. She gets the ball to Poundstone. Poundstone to Olsey. Ball goes into the net, and Tallassee takes an early lead over the Trojans. Tallassee 3, St. James 2. Serve comes in, played by Carson Ann Crow. She gets it to Poundstone, back sets it to Mary Lee Capulla, and down. Mary Lee Capulla's first kill of the match. Poundstone to Capulla, and that evens it up 3 apiece. St. James 3, Tallassee 3 as Mary Lee Capulla goes back to serve for St. James. She serves it into the back left line. Tigers set up their offense, blocked at the net by Olsey and Crow. Point for St. James. Carson Ann Crow and Emily Olsey teamed up to block that one at the net. St. James leads 4-3 over the Tigers. Capulla still back serving for St. James. She hits one down the left line. It's pushed to the net. Played by Bailey Williams. She gets it to Poundstone. Back sets it to Mary Julian Setzer. Ball's pushed over, played by Mary Lee Capulla. Poundstone sets it over to Carson Ann Crow. Ball's dug up on the left corner. Tigers blocked at the net, dug up by Capulla. Poundstone puts it up to Olsey over the block and down. Great play, great placement. Nice thinking by Poundstone and Olsey. That's Emily Olsey's 4th kill, and St. James leads 5-3. Capulla floats one in back middle of the Tiger defense. That was a nice hit by the Tiger attacker at the net. Side out to Tallassee. St. James with a 1-point lead now, and they lead Tallassee 5-4. Here's number 4. Jump serves to St. James, dug up by Carson Crow. Bailey Williams gets it back over to Crow. Carson Crow, nice place. Nice controlled kill by Carson Crow down the left line. Point for St. James. Side out, and they lead Tallassee now 6-4 as Alan Browning comes in for Mary Julian Setzer and will be serving for the Trojans. She floats it in there to the middle. Overpass played by Browning. She gets the ball to Poundstone, back to Crow. Down the line, kill. Carson Crow. Little pepper on that one as St. James takes a 7-4 lead over the Tigers. Alan Browning, number 8, back serving for St. James. Floats one into the middle of the back row. Olsey pushes it back up to Poundstone. Poundstone back to Bailey Williams, and it's down. That's Bailey Williams' 7th kill of the match, and Emily Poundstone's 15th assist as St. James takes an 8-4 lead over the Tigers. Browning floats one into the back right corner. Tigers set up their offense. Ball's blocked by Olsey at the net. Point for St. James on a lift. St. James leading now 9-4. Browning floats one into the middle, played by the front row. Tigers set up their offense, blocked by Carson Crow and Emily Olsey at the net. Olsey and Crow team up again for a tandem block, and the Trojans lead 10-4. Browning floats another one into the middle of the Tigers defense, pushed up to the net. Point to St. James as there's a net violation on the Tigers. St. James leading this third set now 11-4. Browning back serving for the Trojans. She floats one in, played by the front row. The Tigers set up their attack. Free ball, played by Emily Olsey. She gets it to Poundstone, back to Carson Crow, and down. Carson Crow's 13th kill. St. James leading the Tigers now 12-4. Ellie Streeton, number 11, going in for Carson Crow. Alan Browning still back serving for the Trojans. She floats one into the middle of the defense. Tigers set up their attack. Oh, nicely dug up by Poundstone. She balls over the net. Ellie Streeton pushes the ball up to Poundstone. Poundstone back to Bailey Williams, and it's down. Kill for Bailey Williams. That's her 8th kill. St. James leading the Tigers now 13-4. Browning floats one into the back right corner. Tigers set up their attack. Blocked at the net. Oh, but the ball goes out of bounds. Side out to Tallassee. St. James leading now 13-5. Number 6 for the Tigers, serving to the Trojans. Serve comes in, played by Browning. She gets the ball to Poundstone, pushes it back up to Bailey Williams. Off the block, the Tigers dig it up. They set up their attack. Ball's pushed over, played by Browning. She gets the ball to Poundstone. Back to Ellie Street, and she rolls it over the block. Tigers set up their attack. Rolled. Ooh. Point for St. James as the Tigers defender hits the ball over. St. James leading now 14-5 as Ashley White comes in for Emily Poundstone on the front row. Emily Olsey back serving for St. James. She floats one into the middle of the Tigers defense. Ball's pushed up. Saved by Ellie Streeton to Olsey. Oh, ball's hitting to the net for a side out for Tallassee. St. James leading now 14-6. 12 for the Tigers, serving to the Trojans. Serve comes in, played by Marilee Capulla. She gets the ball to Emily Olsey. Push up. Ball's blocked and goes out of bounds. Point for St. James. St. James leading now 15-6. As number 11, Ellie Streeton, goes back to serve for the Trojans. Serve goes into the back left corner. Tigers set up their attack. Ball's out of bounds. Point for St. James. St. James leading now 16-6. Ellie Streeton back serving for the Trojans. Hits the tape, rolls over. Tallassee digs it up, sets up their attack, blocked at the net. Same player hit the ball. Point for St. James. St. James leading now 17-6 over the Tigers. Ellie Streeton, number 11, back serving for St. James. Streeton floats it in back to the middle of the back row. The Tigers set up their attack. That's a double hit on Tallassee, giving St. James their 18th point, and they lead the Tigers now 18-6. Timeout, Tallassee. The Tigers break their huddle, and so do the Trojans. Score on the court after the timeout. Again, St. James 18, Tallassee 6 in this third set. Ellie Streeton, number 11, serving for St. James. Nice serve back to the middle back row. We got a free ball coming to St. James. Alan Browning gets the ball over to Emily Olsey. She pushes it up for Bailey Williams. It's blocked at the net, and a point for Tallassee. Lacey Brown, number 6, comes in for Ellie Streeton on the back row. Score on the court. St. James holds on to an 11-point lead. The score is St. James 18, Tallassee 7. Serve comes in, played by Alan Brown, and she gets the ball to Olsey. Olsey pushes it over to Bailey Williams. Off the block and down. That's a kill for Bailey Williams. That's her 9th. Point for St. James. St. James now 19-7 as Lucy Edwards comes in for Bailey Williams and will be serving for the Trojans. Edwards floats one into the back left corner. The Tigers set up their attack. Ball's rolled over, played by Lacey Brown. Gets the ball to Olsey. Olsey back to Ashley White. That's going to call a double hit. Yep. Double hit called on St. James. That gives Tallassee a side out. St. James leading by 11. Score St. James 19, Tallassee 8. Serve comes in, played by Lacey Brown. Over to Ashley White. Ball goes into the net. That's a point for Tallassee. Score St. James 19, Tallassee 9. There's number 2 for Tallassee, serving to the Trojans. Ball comes in, played by Marilee Capulla. She gets the ball to Olsey. Olsey back, Bailey. Mary Julian Setzer on the left side. Ball's pushed over, played by Lucy Edwards. Olsey hustles over and gets the ball to Marilee Capulla. Oh, that's a kill for Marilee Capulla. Perfectly placed kill. That's her 2nd. Olsey to Capulla. That's now St. James 20, Tallassee 9 as Emily Poundstone comes in for Ashley White. Poundstone serving for the Trojans. She floats one into the middle of the back row, right on the back line. That's an ace for Poundstone. That's her 4th ace of the match. St. James now with a 21-9 lead over the Tigers. Poundstone floats another one into the middle of the back row. Tigers dip it over, played nicely by Capulia to Poundstone. Back to Capulia. Ball's hit. Oh, it saved it. The basketball goal saved it. Played by Lacey Brown. She gets the ball to Poundstone, pushes it over to Olsey. Dug up by the Tigers. They set up their attack. Ball's out of bounds. Attack here on the Tigers gives St. James their 22nd point, and they lead 22-9 over the Tigers. Poundstone serving for the Trojans. She floats one into the middle of the back row. Free ball pushed over, saved by, it was saved by Marilee Capulia. Poundstone dove for the ball, popped it up, but the Trojans couldn't get it back over. That's a side out for Tallassee and their 10th point. St. James with a 12-point lead now. They lead 22-10. Number 11 for the Tigers serving to St. James. Dug up nicely by Lucy Edwards. The ball goes over and the net, and that's a point for Tallassee. St. James now leading 22-11. Serve comes over, played by Lacey Brown. Ball goes out of bounds. Point for Tallassee. St. James now with a 10-point lead. The score is St. James 22, the Tigers 12. Serve comes in, played by, oh, nice play. Lucy Edwards, Poundstone saves it, gets the ball over the net. Blocked by Olsey at the net. Free ball coming to the Trojans. Lucy Edwards runs it down, saves it to Poundstone. She back sets to Mary Julian Setzer. Mary Julian Setzer with a kill. Very nicely played by the Trojan offense. Nice hustle play. Side out to St. James, and they lead now 23-12. Ellie Street, number 11, comes in for Lacey Brown to the front row as Marilee Capulia, number 7, serving for St. James. St. James leading 23-12 in this third set. Capulia serves it in there to the middle of the back row. Overpass for Olsey, and it's down. Kill for Olsey, that's her 5th kill. And that gets us to set point, match point for the Trojans. They lead this third set over Tallassee 24-12. We're looking for 1 point. 1 point to end it. Capulia floats one into the middle of the back row. The Tigers hustle. That's it. That's an ace for Capulia. That's their first ace. And St. James will take this third set 25-12. And they defeat the Tallassee Tigers 3-0. We're going to hang around and keep filming for senior night. I'm going to try to do some handy cam filming here. We'll get some senior recognition started here shortly. See if I can turn this a little bit where you guys can see it a little better. The voice of J.R. Brown you'll hear. He's the voice of the Trojans. This is a treat for you guys live. This is the most seniors we've had graduating from St. James since Coach Karen Lee has been involved with the volleyball program. We got 9 seniors this year. Festivities are about to begin shortly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the St. James Gymnasium, home of wrestling, basketball, and tonight it's volleyball. It's 2018 Seniors Night. This time we plan to honor our 9 seniors graduating upcoming in the spring of 2019. It's more seniors than the football team. Oh my goodness. We're going to announce them in alphabetical order. Let's start with our first senior, Lacey Brown. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Lance Brown. Lacey's participated in the volleyball program 2 different years. She's been part of the varsity team for 1 year. Her extracurricular activities include the Pep Club, Spanish Club, Youth and Government, and the Government Club. She's a member of the National Honor Society, Bridge Builders, and IPRYL, and she's also a St. James Student Ambassador. She's undecided on where to attend college, but plans to study dentistry. Number 6, Lacey Brown. Next is number 8, Alan Browning. Her parents are Susie and Jerry Browning. She's been in the volleyball program for 6 years. The last 2 years have been at the varsity level. She was part of the 2017 4A state championship team. Outside of volleyball, she participates in IPRYL and the T Club and is a member of the varsity tennis team. She will attend Auburn University to study nursing. Number 8, Alan Browning. Next, Carson Ann Crow. Her parents are Mike and Laura Crow. She's been in the St. James Volleyball program for 6 years as well. The last 4 years on the varsity team. She's part of the French Club, Interact Club, National Honor Society, and the Capital City Juniors Volleyball Club. She was part of the 2017 4A State Championship team. Her volleyball accomplishments include state all-tournament team in 9th and 10th grade, and most valuable player at the state tournament last year in the 11th grade. She's also been first team All-Metro, the St. James Offensive Award in the 10th grade, St. James Best All-Around Player in the 11th grade, the AL.com Alabama 4A High School Player of the Year, the Montgomery Independent Player of the Year, and the Capital City Conference Player of the Year. She's undecided on where she'll be attending college, but she wants to study nursing. Number 13, Carson Ann Crow. Next is Liz Ann Livings. Her parents are Billy and Kelly Livings. She's been part of the St. James Volleyball program since 7th grade and on the varsity team the past 3 years. She was part of the 2017 4A State Championship team. She was named to the 2017 State All-Tournament team and honorable mention for the All-Metro team. Outside of volleyball, she's the president of the STJ government team, and she participates in youth judicial. She plans to attend the University of Alabama to study political science. Number 15, Liz Ann Livings. Next up, Emily Olsey. Her parents are Beth and Scott Olsey. She's been part of the STJ volleyball program for 6 years and on the varsity for the past 3. Her extracurricular activities include the Pep Club, FCA, and Bible study group. She's also a member of the varsity basketball and softball teams. She was part of the 2017 4A State Championship team. Her volleyball accomplishments include the all-tournament team and best offensive player in her 9th grade year, the all-tournament team in the 10th grade year, best offensive player as an 11th grader, the all-state tournament team in 2017, all-metro team player as a junior, team captain as a senior, and she's been selected the AL.com South Player of the Week. She's undecided on which college to attend, but she wants to study kinesiology and physical therapy. Number 16, Emily Olsey. Next is Emily Poundstone. Her parents are Brent and Casey Boswell and Mr. Mike Poundstone. She's been part of the St. James Volleyball program for 6 years, 5 of those on the varsity team. She was also part of the 2017 4A State Championship team. She's a member of the Interact Club, French Honor Society, and the National Honor Society. She achieved 2,000 career assists as a junior and has received the Team Setter Award. She's been named to the All-Metro Team Honorable Mention and All-Metro Second Team and has been nominated to the AL.com South Player of the Week. She will be attending the University of Alabama to study nursing. Number 10, Emily Poundstone. Next, Ashley White. Dressed up forward on the court by James and Millicent White. She's been in the volleyball program for 4 years, the last 2 on the varsity team. She was also part of the 2017 4A state championship. She's a member of the varsity basketball team, Spanish Club, Interact Club, and the Spanish Honor Society. She plans to attend the University of Alabama to study kinesiology. Number 18, Ashley White. Next, Bailey Williams. Her parents are Matt and Lynn Williams. She's been part of the St. James volleyball program and the varsity team for 2 years. She was also on the 2017 4A state championship team, and she won the team defensive award in the 11th grade. She's a member of the Interact Club and the Spanish Club. She's undecided this time on college and study. Number 14, Bailey Williams. And we have Kathleen Wright. Her parents are Scott and Laura Wright. She's been a part of the volleyball program for 6 years, the last 2 years in the varsity program. She was also part of the 2017 4A state championship team. Her extracurricular activities include government club, SGA class representative, STJ student ambassador, and the interpersonal relations youth leadership group. Number 2, Kathleen Wright. As you notice, all of the senior female parents have been presented a yellow rose, as is tradition here at St. James School, to honor their hard work and dedication of the parents and the students as well throughout all of the St. James athletic program. Ladies and gentlemen, let's honor our 2018 volleyball seniors. And let's see if they can spell a word with all those letters.
And that'll wrap up our senior recognition. Area will travel to Spanish Fort this weekend, playing Spanish Fort Invitational Tournament. And next week we'll play area. That will host the area tournament, and then we will hopefully qualify to go to Super Regionals, which will be next week.
Hosting the Class 5A Area 5 tournament.